Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Doing exactly what the Lord commands, doing it happily. Action is the key, do it immediately. Joy you will receive. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Samson and Delilah. Gideon led Israel before Samson was born. But after he died, Israel again forgot about God and began to worship idols. This time, God allowed the Philistines to take over Israel for 40 years. But God had a plan to rescue His people from their enemies. The Lord promised that Manoah and his wife would have a son named Samson, and he would rescue the Israelites from the Philistines. Samson was to be set apart for God, so the angel told them that they were never to cut his hair. God blessed Samson and made him really strong. God was going to use Samson to save his people. When Samson grew up, he fell in love with a Philistine woman named Delilah. She lived in the valley of Sorek. The kings of the Philistines went to Delilah. They said,
"Try to find out what makes Samson so strong. Try to trick him in telling you. Find out how we could capture him and tie him up. Then we will be able to control him. If you do this, each one of us will give you 28 pounds of silver."
Delilah accepted the bribe and asked Samson what made him so strong. "Tell me why you are so strong. How could someone tie you up and take control of you?" 3 times she asked Samson, and 3 times he gave her false answers. He first told her that if he was bound with 7 fresh cords, his strength would leave him. Second, he told her that if he was tied up with new ropes that had never been used, he would become weak. Third, he told her that if the braids of his head were woven together, he would become weak. None of those answers were true. Does anyone know what made Samson so strong? Delilah kept bothering Samson about his secret day after day. He became so tired of it, he felt he was going to die. He told her everything to Delilah.
"I have never had my hair cut. I have been set apart to God as a Nazarite since I was born. If someone shaved my head, then I would lose my strength. I would become as weak as any other man."
Delilah saw that he had told her everything sincerely. So she sent a message to the kings of the Philistines. So the kings of the Philistines came back to Delilah. They brought the silver they had promised to give her. Delilah got Samson to go to sleep. He was lying in her lap. Then she called in a man to shave off the 7 braids of Samson's hair. In this way, she began to make him weak, and Samson's strength left him. Then she called out to him, "Samson, the Philistines are about to capture you." He woke up and thought,
"I'll get loose as I did before and shake myself free."
But he didn't know that the Lord had left him. Then the Philistines captured Samson. They tore out his eyes and they took him down to Gaza. They put bronze chains on him. They put him in prison and made him grind grain. While Samson was in prison, his hair began to grow back. The Philistines were worshiping their false god in the temple. They brought Samson out and stood him between two pillars. Samson prayed to God, saying,
"O sovereign Lord, remember me. O God, please strengthen me just once more."
Then Samson reached toward the two central pillars on which the temple stood, bracing himself against them.
"Let me die with the Philistines!"
Then he pushed with all his might, and down came the temple of the rulers and all the people in it. God used Samson to defeat the Philistines, the Israelites' enemies. Samson might seem like an unlikely person for God to use. He was prideful, had a bad temper, and disobeyed God. But God still used him, and ultimately, Samson brought God glory. Samson gave his life so that he could defeat the Philistines, and the Israelites could be freed. In some ways, Samson's story reminds us of Jesus. Jesus also died in order to save others. Jesus gave his very life so that our sin could be forgiven and we could have eternal life with God. He showed his love for you through giving his life, died on the cross, buried, raised on the third day, and promised to be with him someday those who trusted and believed in him. He wanted to be the king of his people. Being a child of God is the most wonderful thing in all the world. Do you think God can use you in his plan for saving people? What are some ways he can use you? God chose to use people to tell others about Jesus and to direct them to God's word. God can use what we say and do to point others to Jesus. Share Jesus to your friends and loved ones because they need Jesus also.